Welcome, everyone! I am absolutely thrilled you're here with us today. We are going to clearly map out the brilliant, yet utterly terrifying, descent of a true visionary. We're unpacking one of the most fascinating studies of absolute power and ambition ever written, Girish Karnnad's 1964 masterpiece, Tauglaq. This explainer is going to take you through the tragic arc of a ruler who tried to force his incredible, progressive visions onto a world that, well, perhaps just wasn't ready for them. And we're going to look at the disastrous consequences that followed.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for these 13 gripping scenes. We'll start with the visionary tragic hero, move to grand ideals and disastrous realities, then opportunists and conspirators, the descent into tyranny, symbols of a fallen dream, and wrap up with a timeless political allegory.
Section 1. The Visionary Tragic Hero. So, when the play opens in Delhi, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, the 14th century ruler of the Delhi Sultanate, is actually presented as a highly progressive leader. I mean, he abolishes taxes to unite his people and openly promotes equality between Hindus and Muslims. He really isn't your traditional tyrant. He's forward-thinking, a man with incredible ideas. But you might be wondering, why write about him in 1964? Well, because Tughlaq is a political allegory. It's a narrative that uses historical events to impartially reflect on broader themes of governance and leadership dynamics. Karnnad uses this specific history completely objectively to explore timeless universal questions about the intense conflict between political idealism and gritty political reality. It's not just history, folks. It's a mirror held right up to modern leadership.
Moving on to Section 2, Grand Ideals, Disastrous Realities. First, consider his massive reform to shift the capital from Delhi to Goladabad. His grand intention? It's a beautiful dream of unity. He truly believes a central location will strengthen the administration and physically unite Hindus and Muslims. But the disastrous reality is a forced migration. Thousands of people suffered terribly. The grueling journey causes mass anger, starvation, disease, and death. A truly noble vision literally paves the way for widespread, unimaginable suffering.
And that builds into his second major policy failure, introducing token currency. He rolls out copper coins designed to be equal in value to silver. Now, this is incredibly innovative for the time, intended to boost and strengthen the economy. However, as we all know, execution is everything. Without the right safeguards, poor execution totally ruins the visionary idea. Counterfeit coins spread like wildfire, causing the entire treasury to collapse and plunging the kingdom into total economic chaos.
Section 3. Opportunists and Conspirators.
You know, when a system breaks down this spectacularly, it doesn't just create suffering, it creates a massive opportunity for the cunning. Take the trickster Aziz and his companion Azam. Let's walk through their playbook step by step. Step 1. Disguise yourself. Aziz constantly shapeshifts. Sometimes he's a Brahmin, sometimes a holy man or an official. Step 2. Brazenly exploit the Sultan's sweeping, unguarded reforms. Step 3. Walk away extremely wealthy. It's almost darkly comedic how easily this broken system can be gamed. Aziz's success completely exposes the deep corruption and weakness hiding right inside the Sultan's grand, supposedly foolproof plans.
Let's look at Section 4, the descent into tyranny. As Tughlaq's policies fail one by one, and as people continuously exploit his systems, something incredibly dark happens to his psyche. His bright idealism begins to curdle into severe paranoia. Let's walk through this rapid sequence of political betrayal and personal collapse. First, a religious leader, Sheikh Imamuddin, criticizes him. But instead of debating, Tughlaq deceitfully sends him into battle to die. Then, responding to the growing chaos, nobles plot his assassination, which Tughlaq ruthlessly crushes. By step 3, the betrayal hits way too close to home. His own stepmother poisons his trusted political advisor, Najib, blaming him for the kingdom's suffering. Step 4 is the absolute point of no return. Tughlaq discovers this and executes his own stepmother. Finally, by step 5, the isolation is complete, and rebellion spread uncontrollably across the kingdom. Tughlaq is left completely alone with his unraveling mind.
Section 5. Symbols of a Fallen Dream.
Now, what's really interesting here is how Karnnad elevates this drama into a profound psychological study through brilliant symbolism, mapping perfectly to Tughlaq's crumbling psyche. Everything carries a deep double meaning. Delhi isn't just a city, it represents tradition and established political authority. Daulatabad, the new capital, represents idealistic dreams physically mutating into a nightmare. The copper currency stands for brilliant progressive ideas completely ruined by terrible execution. And perhaps most powerfully, sleep,
which becomes a heavy focus in the play's final moments, symbolizes the utter exhaustion, the deep guilt, and the tragic psychological toll of a once visionary ruler breaking under the weight of his own ambitions.
And finally, Section 6, a timeless political allegory.
The final moments of the story are, quite frankly, deeply surreal, showcasing the ultimate tragic cost of absolute power. Tauglaq's closest friend and loyal historian, Barani, watches helplessly. He simply cannot save the Sultan from his despair. Then the trickster Aziz arrives and openly admits to all his deceit. But instead of punishing him, a completely broken Tauglaq shockingly rewards the con man, appointing him to a position in the army. The play then ends with a haunting image. The exhausted Sultan, after years of intense mental turmoil, finally falls asleep. His collapsing dreams have quite literally put him to rest.
Ultimately, Tauglaq is widely considered a masterpiece of modern Indian drama because it leaves us with this absolutely crucial takeaway. Noble ideals fail when leaders ignore practical realities and rely on fear instead of trust. Impatience, harsh decisions, and the misuse of power will destroy even the most brilliant visions of justice and unity. The play remains endlessly relevant because it forces us to impartially question ambition, morality, and the heavy responsibilities of leadership in literally any era.
So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on. As you look at the tragic story of Tauglaq, ask yourself, when a leader's grand, idealistic vision clashes with practical reality, is the resulting tragedy the fault of the leader who failed to execute it, or the governed who failed to adapt? It's a wonderfully complex question about governance that doesn't have an easy answer. But hey, that's exactly why this story is so worth exploring. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and remember to always keep questioning the world around you.